Good afternoon from the Water Utilization Learning Center. My name's Brian Olson. I'm out here with Mark Ryman, and we're looking at some corn here where we've got some big differences in how dark green that corn plant is. And so on the left side, we've got some corn that's a little bit nitrogen stressed. We figured out that there was a misapplication of with the strip till rig, and so we didn't get quite enough nitrogen down with this. But we're also seeing this in across a number of fields out there due to obviously a lot of precipitation in the area, where we've got some corn that should look nice and dark green like it does on the right side, but instead looks more of a lime green to even sometimes a pale yellow if it's really bad. And so we're out here with Mark Ryman, our agronomist. And so Mark, what do we do in this situation if we've got some very lime green corn?
Well, I guess the easiest thing to do if you want to identify what the problem is you could go back and look at your mapping and maybe make sure that fertilizer was applied there. But, you know, in the absence of that, and it's a mystery, you've got a few options. So one of them would be a tissue test, and it's very important that you consult with the lab that you're going to send that sample to make sure that you get it properly taken from the right place on the plant. At this stage, you might be talking about the whole plant in terms of corn. They usually say that when it's under a foot tall. And then as the corn plant grows, you take like the uppermost fully developed leaf, and then after R1 typically, you're looking at taking the ear leaf for that sample. And then you maybe want to wash that leaf off if there's a lot of dirt on it or soil that's been washed up on the plant. That can cause problems in analysis. And make sure you don't let it sit there in hot conditions or something like that. Want to make it sure you get it to the lab in good condition so you can analyze it and then understand, if it's not nitrogen, maybe what other nutrients causing you a problem this year.
Okay. And so we've also got, again, depending upon the piece of ground, then farmers may have access to Climate Field View. What would be some of the tools in Climate Field View that would help them look through and see if they've got a problem with nitrogen?
In particular, the nitrogen tool can be very useful. You can take, the specific field that you planted. You can go in there and enter your nutrient program, essentially. So, when you apply the nitrogen, what form it was in, was it incorporated? A lot of different questions like that you'll have to answer. But then it'll come in and account for the weather conditions that field has experienced that might be, maybe speeding up nitrogen leaching or maybe slowing nitrogen leaching down, depending on the situation, maybe speeding up or slowing down, basically the breakdown of the residue and getting nitrogen that way from your organic matter. So there's a lot of things that can be accounted for, and then it can kind of give you a number of where you are and what you might expect to need to apply.
And so this would be the time to go through there and obviously make some adjustments as needed. And so in the background, we see our irrigation system. And so this is obviously a way we can get nitrogen out over a piece of ground. And we can do it if we're set up properly and have the right certifications from the state. We can go through there and make multiple applications over a growing season. What would be some of the other types of ways that we could make an adjustment here and try to perk up this lime green corn?
Well, there are options right now with the size of this corn and, probably up to about this high. You can still get a tractor over it and apply side dress either with coulters or kind of machines that dribble the nitrogen beside the plants. Options there. If the corn gets too tall and you don't have a pivot, other options could be, using a high clearance sprayer with some coulters or nozzles on it that basically allow it to go between the rows. I've also seen people use dry spinners, but the urea will cause burn to your plants, so you have to be prepared for that situation. And then in really serious circumstances, there have been people that have applied certain fertilizers by air to address some of those concerns, with what their crop has in it as far as nutrients.
So again, now's the time as we move forward to really look at that corn and decide, okay, obviously we want the corn on the right that's nice dark green, and that corn is going to produce a nice ear. But if we've already got pale green corn that's on this left side, we really need to get out there and get the nutrient needs addressed before we have a significant loss in yield as we move forward. So with that, we'll talk to you in the future about other agronomic topics from the Learning Center. Thank you.
Thanks for watching this video from the Gothenburg Water Utilization Learning Center. For more information, please call 308-537-4500.